Chapter 30. Dam saves the night. Vaquero puts his hands behind his back and slowly goes down on his knees. The officer who had stopped them earlier is now being beaten up pretty badly. He has a black eye on his left, his right cheek is bruised, and there's a cut at the bottom left side of his lips. The officer's right eye goes big when he looks at the cleaning lady lying on the road. Soon, tears start coming out from his wide eyes as he stares at her unmoving forms. Then, there is a vicious look in his eyes as they start squinting. The officer slowly walks towards Vaquero's back from behind him. When Vaquero is on his knees, a 9mm is pointed from behind, at the back of his head. A thumb goes on the 9mm safety lock and turns it off. The superior officer sees the officer pointing his pistol to the back of Vaquero's head. The superior officer's mouth starts moving as he says, "What are you doing?" The officer doesn't respond to him. The superior officer's mouth moves again as he says something like, "Put your weapon away." The officer still doesn't respond. The superior officer shoots the officer on his right shoulder. Blood starts oozing from the officer's shoulder as soon as he gets shot. The officer goes down on the ground and is on his back now. Vaqueros is slowly casting his face downwards on the ground, while he still has a sinister smile on his face. Near the cleaning lady's right hand, there is her cell phone lying on the ground. The cell phone has a text message. The text message has a photo of a cute kitty cat. The bottom of the photo has a message that reads, "Remind me of you. Good luck on your trip. If you need more help on your trip, then let me know. I'll be glad to help you all the time." A thumb presses the button to send the message. Palm says, "Ha ha ha ha. Good luck, kitty cat." Palm puts his cell phone away and says, "Now let's see how amateur Romeo is doing." Palm is still on a rooftop. He sits down near a square table. On the table, there is a close laptop. Palm yawns audibly, then opens the laptop. Suddenly, he closes his eye. Then he opens them again. Palm's head is laying on the table. He pulls out his cell phone from his left hand and looks at the screen. He is still staring at the screen when he mutters, 44 minutes? Palm stretches his arms and yawns again. He blissfully mutters, "What a good nap." Palm turns on the laptop and starts typing. A voice appears from the laptop, which is Dam's static voice, as he says, "How farther is it, my boy?" Dam looks at Airdrie while he's still driving the fire engine. All the firefighters are looking at Airdrie's cell phone, while Airdrie says, "We're almost there." "Good. How's the captain, Sergeant?" Dam asks. Beck looks at the captain next to him. Then he looks up towards Dam and responds, "He's still passed out." Dam says, "Thanks, Sergeant." Beck responds, "Don't mention it, Dam." Dam, Airdrie, and all the firefighters are all looking at the road. One of the firefighters is chewing something. Ashes speaks up as he asks, "Do you think anything's open?" "I'm starving." Dam looks at his left, at the drive's side, and notices almost all the businesses on fire and destroyed. He then responds, "I think nothing is open. And besides, we have to stay on a task." Ashes says, "Okay then." Everyone in the truck goes quiet. The captain starts to slowly open his eyes, and in a wussy voice he says, "Did I save the day?" The captain's eyes are half-lidded. Then his eyes get big as he says, "Hey, you're the assholes who steal this trunk?" Dam looks at him and greets him, "Hi, how are you doing?" Dam doesn't look at the captain. He is still driving the fire engine. Beck looks at the captain and asks, "How are you feeling, Captain?" The captain looks at Beck from his left before he angrily says, "Beck? The fuck are you doing? Where's the rest of our crew?" Beck responds, "They're in here, with us." The captain looks around the truck. 3 firefighters are sitting in front of the captain and Beck. Ashes is standing outside from the drive side of the fire engine, while Captain asks, "Then what the fuck are you doing with them? Where's the driver from the collision?" "When we were driving, an ambulance came by use and stop, so we drop him off with them. He's safe now," the extinguisher says. The captain asks, "How did you know it was an ambulance? What does the vehicle look like?" Beck responds, "It looks like an ambulance." Ashes starts shouting as he says, Yeah, it had sirens and the vehicle color has. The captain cuts him midway as he angrily asks, Then, why the fuck are you with these guys? They stole this truck. The extinguisher says, Yeah, we know. You all knew? The captain asks in a small voice. All the firefighters say simultaneously, Yeah. One of the firefighters blows and pops a bubble gum, as Dam says, Yeah, I told them the truth when we got in the truck. The captain looks confused. Then, he looks mad and says, Then why the fuck? Are you letting him do this? Ashes suddenly shouts out loud, To find the girl he likes. The captain shouts back, What? The captain looks even more confused. Beck looks at the captain as he says, Yeah, this girl who borrowed his car for this night. He needs it back, because there's something very important in there. The captain asks, Like what? Beck looks at him and says, Ah? His phone. The captain asks again, Why are you helping them? This time, the extinguisher responds, as he says, Because these guys are heroes. They saved the guy stuck inside the SUV, and also saved our asses, while you had passed out. The captain is seething as he says, I was knocked out. The extinguisher says, Like a pussy. The captain moves his hands up in the air and shouts, All right, stop this fucking truck. The captain is pointing at the backside of Dam's head as he continues shouting, You two are going to fucking jail. Then, the captain points at all the firefighters as he resumes shouting, And all of you are fucking laid off. Beck's right hand hits the captain on the upper left side of the nose and middle of his forehead. The captain cries out in pain, Ah! The captain makes a thud sound when he gets hit. Instantaneously, the captain is knocked out. Dam looks grateful as he says, Thanks for making him quiet. Smokey asks from the side, You didn't hit him too hard, did you? Smokey looks at Beck. Beck looks at the captain as he says, He's all right, he's just sleeping. Beck looks at other firefighters. One of the firefighters is chewing gum. Beck asks, Can I have some? The firefighter looks down at his mouth and says, Sure. Bubblegum pulls out some gum and gives some to Beck, while Beck says, Thanks. Beck grabs and puts the gum in his mouth and starts to chew on it. Dam looks at Beck from the rearview mirror and says, Yeah, thanks for not telling him about Boiler. Don't mention it, Beck says while chewing on his gum. Yeah, Dam says. A fast police van drives towards the fire engine. The police van passes by the fire engine, while Dam looks at the police van while it drives by them. Dam is still staring at the van as he says, He's in a hurry? Army trucks pass by the fire engine, and Dam says, The armed forces. Ashes asks, They're going to make everything all right? Dam looks at Ashes in the side view mirror before he says, Sure thing, Ash. The extinguisher asks, So what are you going to do with him? Dam looks puzzled as he asks, Who? Extinguisher turns his head to the left while asking his next question, Boiler. Dam shrugs and responds, I don't know. I got to think of something. The extinguisher says, You better think about it fast. Dam nods and thoughtfully says, Yeah, you're right. Maybe send him off to the sea? Everyone is looking at Dam, making him confused, and he says, God damn it, I'm still thinking. Dam looks at his right towards Airdrie, while Airdrie is typing on his cell phone. Dam calls him out to get his attention, saying, My boy? Airdrie looks at Dam while he's still holding his cell phone, as he says, Yes, Dam. Dam asks, Are we almost near the cleaning lady's location yet? Airdrie looks back on his cell phone as he types the text. Text you later, my love. Love you. Be safe. Then the screen goes back to the home screen, while Ashes asks, So why do you call her the cleaning lady? Dam turns his head to the left before responding, Because I don't know her real name, Ash. Airdrie looks remorseful as Dam says, I wish I knew? God, that will make my day. But I did get to know her a little bit more. She told me some things, and I made her laugh a little. Beck asks, So what things do you know about her? Dam shakes his head and responds, I can't tell you that. Sorry, she'll F me up if I tell anything about her. Airdrie looks up at Dam and says in a worried tone, "Dam, I have something to tell you." Dam looks worried. Then he says, "Shit, it's the authorities." Beck asks, "Who is it?" Dam responds, "The cops." Airdrie says, "A cop." There's one police cruiser. At the far distance, one police vehicle is parked on the left side of the road, while another vehicle is parked behind the police vehicle. Behind the fire engine, there is a sound of an oncoming siren. Ashes look behind him and sees something coming near them really fast. As Ashes says, "Another ambulance is coming?" The ambulance drives by the fire engine. An officer is running in the middle of the road. He stops and points his left index finger towards the ambulance. Then he points over there to the right side of the road, and the ambulance drives to the right side of the road. Airdrie is looking at the commotion as he says, "Looks like it's the same ambulance we dropped off that crash victim with." Dam looks at Airdrie as he says, "Probably saving another life?" The ambulance parks on the right side of the road. The officer turns around and sees the fire engine. He puts both of his hands forward to the fire engine. The fire engine slowly stops. The officer comes up to the fire engine. He steps on the side step and talks to the driver as he says, "Firefighters, can you help?" Dam looks at the superior officer and asks, "What do you need?" The superior officer points to a spot behind the fire engine before he says, "We need more people to watch the road traffic barricade back over there from where you came. Because it's just me here. All my men just took off. They took 2 sick individuals and another officer away to Station 1. Dam asks, "Why? What happened?" The superior officer responds, "One of the individuals murdered someone." Dam looks terrified as he asks, "Oh my God, who?" The superior officer responds, "Sorry, sir. I can't give you that information. The ambulance is here. They're moving the body as we speak." Dam responds, "All right then. We'll help you." Dam looks at Airdrie and asks, "How far is she?" The superior officer asks, "Who?" Dam looks back at the superior officer before responding, "Oh, this woman I know. I let her borrow my vehicle for a while, but I realized that I needed it back. It's an old New Yorker." As Dam is speaking, the superior officer is looking at him remorsefully. Dam continues, "We found a way to track her by using..." Smokey pipes in as he says, "A car." Dam carries on, "Yeah, car." "My car. It's a really long story." Dam looks back at Airdrie and says, "So where's her location, my boy?" Airdrie doesn't say anything. Instead, he just looks at his cell phone. On the phone screen, the map was covering the space. It shows Anne's phone near the fire engine. Airdrie looks back at Dam and looks remorseful. Dam looks at him and asks, "Where is she?" Airdrie slowly looks at Dam's eyes. Dam looks confused and asks, "What?" Dam looks back at the superior officer and sees him looking remorseful as well. Dam asks again, "What?" Dam looks back and forth between Airdrie and the superior officer, then asks, "What are you doing?" "I don't get it." "Where is she, Airdrie?" Airdrie is still looking remorseful as Dam asks again, "Where is she?" Airdrie has the same expression at his face as he asks, "Where is she, my boy?" Dam is being persistent, yet Airdrie's expression doesn't change as he continues looking at him remorsefully. Dam gets frustrated as he asks, "God damn it! Where is she, Airdrie?" Dam looks forward and notices the vehicle. The vehicle is a New Yorker, parked right behind the police cruiser. Dam quietly says, "That's my car." Dam looks concerned. The superior officer closes his eyes for a second. Dam looks at his vehicle for a long time. Finally, he turns his head to the superior officer and says, "Get out of the way." The superior officer says, "I'm sorry, sir. You can't get out of the vehicle until they're done." Dam speaks again, "Get out of the way." The superior officer says again, "I can't let you do that, sir." "I'm sorry." Dam shouts angrily, "Get out of my fucking way." The superior officer shakes his head before saying, "I'm so sorry, sir." "Get out of my fucking way," Dam shouts one more time. The superior officer says again, I'm so sorry, sir. Dam is furious as he yells, "Get the fuck out the way!" Dam's right knuckle punches the superior officer square in the face. The superior officer goes down on the ground. Dam quickly opens his seatbelt, then opens the driver's door before he jumps down the fire engine and starts walking towards the ambulance. The superior officer is still lying on the ground, rolling around while both of his hands are on his face. Airdrie and the firefighters are getting out the fire engine. While Dam is walking, a paramedic is standing behind the end of the left side of the ambulance. The paramedic is on his cell phone. Suddenly, he notices Dam and says, "Mr. Dam, what are you doing here?" Dam walks past the paramedic as he says, "Get out of my way, Mitchell." Mitchell turns his head around to look at Dam before saying, "Hey, what you doing?" Mitchell is walking behind Dam while saying, "You can't be here. We're moving a body. The body over there on the stretcher." Dam is walking towards the stretcher. Two people are moving a body bag onto a stretcher while Mitchell is still walking behind Dam. The body bag is on the stretcher now, as the stretcher is being moved by a female paramedic. Mitchell asks, "Did you find your car? And your lady friend?" Mitchell looks at his left and notices Dam's vehicle. Then he looks at the back of Dam's head and calls out, "Dam?" Dam ignores Mitchell, while Airdrie and the firefighters catch up to Dam. Beck calls out, "Dam!" Dam ignores Beck as well, but he calls him out again, "Dam?" Beck touches Dam's right shoulder. Dam removes Beck's hand off of his shoulder and says, "Don't touch me." Airdrie touches Dam's right shoulder, and Dam angrily says, "Don't fucking touch me." Dam quickly turns around and pushes Airdrie down on the ground. Everyone stops and becomes still. Dam looks at Airdrie for a moment. Then he walks back towards the stretcher. Airdrie quickly stands up and starts walking behind Dam again. Everyone else is following Dam as well. Dam and all the others are near the stretcher. The female paramedic stops strolling and notices all the people at her right and asks, "What are you all doing here?" Dam says, "Open the bag." The female paramedic declines as he says, "No. Do you have any respect? A female body in here." Dam looks worried, scared, and nervous, all at the same time. His eyes start to go red. His hands are shaking uncontrollably. Then, his right hand quickly zips down the zipper from the body bag, while the female paramedic calls out, "Hey, don't!